Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to do a tri-fold file folder folio, and we're going to cut a fancy design in the flap. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my idea, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Alright, so what I did was when you find your fold part in your let's see, like you have your file folder. This one was cut off of, but you have your file folder and you have your fold. So what I did was from the fold on one side, doesn't matter which side, from the fold up I cut 4 inches, and this is, let me see, about, 7.5 would be good. It's about 7 and quite a few 16ths, so I would say 7.5. So for the left side, let me make for sure I'm saying this right. Yes, from the left side, we're going to have it cut at 4 inches. Then when we turn it over on this side, we're going to cut this side at 8 1/4 inches, and then we're going to score it at 4 1/8. Okay? So altogether, when it's open, I think I figured it at like 12 1/4 inches maybe, because the 12 mark is here, and that's almost 1/4 inch. So that's how I cut it. That was the easiest way to explain it to you. Okay? Now on our flap over here, this is going to be our flap. So the little short one is on the left side, or if you want your folio to open from the right side, then you can have it either way you want it. I don't know, I just automatic, from the left side I meant. If you wanted it to open from the left side, then your little short piece would be over here. No, it wouldn't. Your little short piece would be on the right side and your flap would be on the left side. I don't know, I always go for the right side, but I guess because I'm right-handed. Anyway, that's enough of that jibber jabber. I cut this pattern out. I just used some round things and moved them around a little bit. And you only have to do half. So you can see I had circles, and then I just erased my lines that I didn't want. So you just use round things, even if it's like your glue bottle, and that's not a very good, I don't know what I used. But anyway, if you wanted small ones, you could use your glue stick. I really don't know what I used. Isn't that funny? I just did this the other day. Anyway, use something that's round. Cut out a circle. Use this thing here and just draw around it, because you have paper up here, so you just draw around it and you move it and you draw around it, move it and draw around it, and then this one, it would be like half. So you would draw around it, but then you would fold your paper in half, and that's the easiest way to cut it out. Then you make sure you get both sides even, and then figure, how long you want it or whatever. Give yourself some length. I drew a line over here So I knew how far to go down, because my first thought was to go all the way down here, and I don't want it that short, because I want to put a little pocket on here. So I'm going to go all the way up to the end of this flap. And then just kind of make sure you're even. So let me see, I have that up there about 3/4 of an inch. So let me make a little mark over here at 3/4 of an inch. Then I can make sure I have this straight. And you want your paper to be as wide as whatever it is that you're cutting. Okay. Then all you're going to do is draw around it. And of course, when I draw around it, I just, I have pencil lines going all over the place because paper's not very stiff, and I only used notebook paper to cut it out. So, and then when you have your patterns like this, you want to keep your pattern so the next time you use it, or you want to use that, then you have your pattern to use. So it would be a good idea to cut it out of cardstock once you get it made. And then you always have your pattern. And see, there's your pattern for it. So this is my pattern. So then you just cut around it. You can cut on the lines or inside the lines. And even though I have lines there, it's not always perfect, but it doesn't have to be either, because we're cutting it by hand. We're not using a machine. Let me cut some of that off. You can, and if you don't want to do this, then you can just round the corners on your flap if you want, or you can just leave them straight. It's completely up to you as to what you want or what you like. There, isn't that pretty? And then when it folds over, and that's how it closes. So isn't that pretty? I like that. You probably can't see it very good. But, so it goes almost down to the bottom. Now, I have to get my outside flap and my inside flap, I have to cut them also. There's my inside flap, and there is my outside flap. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to draw on one, and then I'm going to cut them together. So I'm going to just do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to lay it on one and cut them both out. Now these are going to be just a little bit smaller than this, so this hangs over some. So I'm going to raise this up just a little, or I might not. I think when I get all done, I'm just going to cut a little bit off at the bottom, because I don't want to mess up any of this fancy stuff, but I want a border around here. So I'm just going to go off and do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so all I did was paper clipped them together, folded the one that I drew around, I folded it in half and just creased this part a little tiny bit so I would know for sure where my center was. okay? So I have my inside flap and my outside flap, and I got a little bit of ink on that. So let's see, do I want to cut these off just a little shorter? Maybe not. I don't think I have to. I think that one will be just fine. And my outside flap. Okay, that's perfect. I like that like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue. And I think before I started my video, I should have filled my my glue bottle. I was supposed to do that the other day, and then I just kept using it. And I'm using Fabri-Tac so it doesn't wrinkle my paper. Okay, now we can do this other side. Unfortunately, I can't erase the ink with my eraser. I was holding the paper in my hand and just barely swiped the edge of the ink dauber over it. But what are you gonna do? Maybe it just adds character, I don't know. So the parts that, and I forgot to ink around these, so they're not inked. But we'll ink around this edge. I just kind of forgot all about them edges. Wow, look, that's really dark. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and we'll work on the inside. Now on this, I'm going to I want to add a little pocket here just for something to go into it. And when I close it, it's not going to show, but I'm almost wondering if this little tag is going to be too big. Now, for tags on this, I decided that I was going to use all of the tags, not all of my tags, but out of all of the tags that I've made on my videos, I decided today I was going to break them out and use them. So them are going to be the tags that I do in my pockets today. But I'd really like this one in this pocket because I just think it's cute. So I'll go ahead and glue the pocket down, but I won't put the tag in yet. So it's going to go like this. And I'll just try to stay really close to the edge. Because I want my tag to fit in there. I'm going to turn this around so I can see. I want to have it kind of where my tag is going to be centered here. So I think that'll work. And then that should sit right down in there. I think that'll work. Yeah, and that's what that'll look like. So we'll do the tag afterwards. So let me put this back in here so my glue doesn't dry. All right. So now we're going to start over here. Of course, I have my pieces marked. So this is number 1. I marked my flaps as outside and inside. But, you know, if you mark your pieces, mark them so you know how you can keep track of them. If mine aren't marked, I can't keep track of them. And it just makes it easy, and nobody sees what you have marked on the back and underneath. Let me see. We're going to have a little pocket. Am I on the camera? We're going to have a slanted pocket and a little pocket on the bottom. I can only I have to make for sure that when I put my slanted pocket in there, I don't go too far up. So I'm going to glue this on first, and do I want that glued? Let me see. Yeah, I think I'll just glue all the way around it. So I'll glue this first, and then I'll slide it under the other pocket. So I think that will be okay there. Because my bottom is not showing. And that doesn't look straight. And then that'll just glue over that, my 3 sides. I make this different stuff, and then I have to think, oh, what am I going to use for a tag, or what am I going to put in here? And I don't think of the stuff that I've already made. So I need to start thinking. So up here, I have this tag. It's a journaling tag. It was just a little collage. That's going to go in there. And then this is just, I made a ticket, I stamped on it, added a little burlap, a little piece of something something, and put overjoyed on it. And that's going to go in there. I think them look good in there. Yes. So I'll just leave these out until we get done. Now we're going to go to number 2. Sometimes when I'm trying to figure this stuff out, it's mind-boggling. But all in all, I enjoy it. Sometimes it's relaxing, sometimes it's not so relaxing when I can't figure out what I wanna, how I wanna decorate something, or like today when I was getting ready to do this, generally I have my pockets marked to match where they're going, and I didn't have none of that stuff marked. So I had to sit and figure out where everything went again. I either mark it or I take pictures, and I didn't do either. Okay, now on this one, we're going to have a couple pockets. We're going to have one down here and one up here. I'm just going to go ahead and glue them down. And the size of these, I just cut to whatever size I think I want it, and I always leave a border around them. So you just have to decide how you want yours to look. Okay, and then I have this tag and this tag. I don't think it mattered which one I put in where. I thought these were just cute. And there. So I think that looks good. All right, so now we'll take these out till we get the other side done, and then that'll let the pockets just dry. So now we can turn it over. And let's see. Excuse me. We'll do number 3. So how's everyone doing? I don't think I even asked. I think this goes which way? Well, if it's upside down, I don't know. My leaves are down here on my sunflowers, so we'll just say that that is the right side, or the wrong, right, yeah, the right side. All right, now on this one, we're going to have a little envelope, and all it is a straight piece of paper, just a rectangle, a long skinny piece of paper, I should have said. I made it about 8 1/4 inches long and about 3 3/4, no, 3 5/8 wide. And all I'm going to do, and I cut my notch in it, all I'm going to do is glue these two sides. Very easy pocket. Maybe one of these days I could do a pocket video just showing, you know, different ways of just making these little pockets so you could put them into your journals. So that'll sit like that, and then I'm going to put a piece of Velcro on it. But I also want to put this on it just to show that it's a little envelope that opens up. Oh, I'm gluing it shut over here. I think that's better. And I think that looks cute on there. And I'm going to put my Velcro on here. Let me see, what am I putting up top? Before I put my Velcro on, I'm going to put this on, and it can sit down over my tab, that's fine. And then I'm going to put this on, and it says keep smiling. Oh, make it straight, Terry. Yeah, I think that's straight. Should have been over that way just a little more. Okay. Now I can put my Velcro on. Oh yeah, I guess it'll all come off. So I'm just going to set it up here, push it down, take my other piece of plastic off. Make sure they're lined up together. And then just fold it down. And then that'll open like that. That should have been over just a little. Oh, we're not going to worry about it. We're having an offsides day today. Now I have this little faux postage stamp. And because there's green in the backgrounds, the green goes good with the yellow. I thought we would use this. And I'm just going to add 3 of these little gems across there. And they're flat enough that they won't bother when the folio closes. So let's see. I think just put them something like that. I think that'll work just fine. Just gotta wipe some of my glue off. And I don't think they're even with each other. There, I think that's good. Hopefully. Okay. Now when I glue this down, I'm only going to glue the 3 sides because I'm going to have a little pocket behind there. Okay, now for inside the envelope, I just made a little fold-out journal space. And on this little part that folded over, I thought we would just leave it, and I just cut a little strip of this that was left over and just put across for decoration. And now that I glued this shut, I hope that I didn't close it in my pocket. Nope, it goes down in there. Let me just run this around just to make it a little tiny bit looser. There we go. And that was just out of a leftover strip of paper. Okay. And then this is another one of the tags that I had made quite a long time back. I used burlap with the lace that was glued to it already, and just put a faux postage stamp on it, and I put a little piece of paper back here for journaling. Added a little key, some lace, and some ribbon, a ribbon bow. And then that can just go right back there. And I thought that was just cute. I like that. We don't have any more gluing down on the other side, so I'm just going to leave that one in there. This will be our last piece to glue down. This is just going to be our back. Now, if you want anything on the back, you can put whatever you want on the back. I'm not putting anything back there. You could add a pocket or whatever. You could add journaling space or whatever. Okay. Now, let me see. these went in here. So some of my burlap's going to get stuck there a little bit. And my ribbon. So there's that. Then we have these. And I just think that's cute. I like these little tags that I've made in the past. Then we can put this in here. And I think that will work just fine. So when we open it up, we'll see a little tag. So this is pretty chunky with them tags in there with the ribbon and everything. So over here on this page, we're going to see some of this, but that's not a problem. And then I'm going to put this on the front. I was really hoping that I was going to be able to, because I wasn't real sure once I cut this how it was going to work. Now I have this up on Pop Dots. So I had this made as a journal tag because I had paper on the back, but I wanted to use it as my decoration. And hopefully, because the stuff in here is bulky, hopefully this side lays down like it's supposed to. And then when I close it, I want to use a belly band as my closure. So this thing's pretty bulky, so I hope the belly band works okay. Even though I have long fingernails, doesn't always really matter. I have long fingernails or short. Sometimes these things come off easy, sometimes they don't. So now that I used a lot of these tags, one of these days I'm going to have to make some more. Alright, so I want to kind of even this out. Yeah, that worked good. Okay. Now for our belly band, all I'm going to use is a piece of the file folder, and the way it was cut on the one side, I just cut the other one to match. So this is pretty bulky, so I don't want to make my belly band too tight. So I think if I wrap it like that, it's pretty loose. I should be able to slide it off and on. Yes, that'll slide. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to leave all of that on there. I think I'll cut where this is. And this was where the fold on the file folder was. So I'm just going to add some glue across here. I'm probably off camera. And then I'll make sure I have it even. And hopefully I only have the glue where it's going to go onto that part of the file folder. Let me slide it off so I don't glue it to my tag. So there, I just barely slid it back a little tiny bit. So let's see how this slides on. Oh, it works very good, very good, very good. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, now I want to put a piece of this on it. And I probably should have done that before. I got in a hurry. So that'll go there. So we'll just go ahead and glue it as we go. How's that? We don't mind. I can always go back and add glue. And then we'll just fit it right on around there, just so it stays in the center. And I'll put a little glue along this edge. It's probably not the way you guys would have added this on here, right? But like I say, I got in a hurry. And then we'll just bring this around here. I'm not coming around even. I have to come around even. Like that. So let me go ahead and cut this off. And that's too long still. And that's still too long. Now that's too short, but it'll be just fine. We don't mind at all, do we? I don't mind. I guess I was using this glue. Now what I could have done was rounded my corners instead of cutting that off straight, but I didn't. But we have a little flower that's going to sit right over here on the side, and that'll just kind of help mask what we did there on our boo-boo. And this is a flower that I made. I want to say I saw it on September 18, but I really can't remember. It was so long ago. So when I seen it, I made one up so I would have it as a pattern. So one of these days, maybe I'll do a video on this. So this just slides on and off. And I'm so glad it worked right. So we have our little tag here. Let me cover up my glues. So we have our little tag here. And it has writing space on the back. I didn't add another lighter piece here, but you can still see. And isn't that funny? Almost matches. But you can add a lighter piece of paper to the back of it. Then we have a little journal space in here. Lots of journaling. And I like this flap. And then we have this tag with journaling space, and this is stiff because this was stiff, kind of stiff to begin with, but then when I glued the paper on the back, made it just a little tiny bit stiffer. I had fun making these. Not sure how long ago it was, but it was one of my older videos, I think. Then we'll open this up and we have a tag here. And a tag here, and this one says relax. Then over here we have a tag, and I just think these turned out cute. I'm not the greatest one when it comes to doing these collages and different things, but some of them that I've done I think turned out pretty good. And then we already looked at that one, and we looked at that one. And then we just have our front fancy and our belly band. So what do you think? I think it turned out pretty cute. I like the colors. It could even be classified as fall. So let me know down in the comments what you think, and if you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Come back to see me for my next one, and until then everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.